Hello class, in this revision lecture we will be doing rights and liabilities of surety. As I have already told you when I took up this topic in the class that you need to study the rights and liabilities of surety from Indian Contract Act as well. You can't skip that portion. You have already studied Contract Act in your previous semester, I believe. So kindly go through it. If you find any difficulty, you can get back to me. Rights and liabilities of a surety, all those sections which forms the part of your contract too. You just need to do that. It's very simple and elementary in nature. Simple rights and liabilities are there. Here I'll be discussing the most important rights and liabilities which need some kind of explanation. Now, starting with surety's liability. I hope you know who is a surety from my previous lecture video. A surety is a person who takes up the guarantee for paying the money debt taken by one person from another person. For example, I take debt from Mr. A. So I am the debtor, Mr. A is the creditor, and Mr. B says, okay, fine, if she is not able to pay, I'll be pay. I'll be the one who will be paying the debt. So इस case में, now in this case, I am the debtor, Mr. A is the creditor and Mr. B is the surety. Okay, so a contract of surety has three parties. So surety's first and foremost liability is to pay the debt when the debtor is not able to pay. So the first and foremost liability is with respect to the creditor, that he need to pay the debt, and then he need to pay the debt. If he has taken the liability of being the surety, then he has the liability towards the debtor also, that if he is not able to pay, then he would pay the creditor. So these are the main liabilities of the surety. Coming to the rights of a surety. Surety has a right against the debtor that if the surety pays the creditor in case when debtor is not able to pay the creditor. मान लीजिए मैं पे नहीं कर पाई, मेरे surety ने पे किया, मिस्टर बी ने पे किया मिस्टर ए को. Now I have a liability to pay Mr. B, my surety. अब मेरी लाइबिलिटी क्रेडिटर के प्रति नहीं है. I am not liable towards the creditor. He has got his share from the surety and he is out of the picture. Now I'll be paying the debt to the surety. Now I'll be paying the debt to the surety, because surety through right of subrogation steps into the shoes of creditor as and when he pays the debt to the creditor. जैसे ही surety debt अगर debtor पे ना कर पाए, surety पे करता है debt loan उधार creditor को. जैसे ही वो पे करता है डेट क्रेडिटर को, तो श्योरिटी स्टेप इन कर जाता है creditor के shoes में. Now surety, you can say, steps into the shoes of the creditor, so he has all the rights which the creditor has. And what is the first right which the creditor has? That he need to, or the debtor needs to pay the credit to the creditor. So now if surety is in the shoes of the creditor, because he has already paid the creditor the debt which the debtor could not pay at the time when the debt was due, now the surety would be paid by the debtor through right of subrogation. What right a surety has against the creditor? The surety has against the creditor the right that if there is something kept as a security by the debtor when he takes the debt, and if the debtor is not able to pay the creditor, then the surety pays the creditor. So anything which the debtor had kept with the creditor as a security, he need to give that to the surety. For example, I took a loan from Mr. A and I gave him my phone also as a security. Now I was not able to pay him the debt back on the due date, so my surety Mr. B paid the creditor Mr. A. Now if Mr. A has got his credit along with his interest back, then he need to return the security which my security which he has. So whom he would be returning the security to? The surety. Now surety will take my phone. Mr. B would take my phone from Mr. A because Mr. B has paid the credit to the creditor, and when I will pay the money to the surety, then he would return the phone to me. This is how it is done. Right of a surety against co-sureties means, if, for example, there are three sureties to as guarantor in one transaction. For example, I have taken loan from Mr. A and B, C, and D. I have three sureties to assure this whole transaction. Three sureties as guarantor. Now I was not able to pay my creditor on the due date, so Mr. B paid the whole amount to Mr. A, my creditor. All the sureties took the guarantee of paying 10,000 each. I had taken a loan of 30,000 and from Mr. A, and there were three sureties, and they said that if she is not able to pay back the loan on the due date, we will be paying 10,000 each to Mr. A. Now what happened? I was not able to pay, and I was not able to pay the debt back on the due date to Mr. A. Mr. B paid the whole 30,000. Okay, but he was supposed to pay only 10,000. He has paid 20,000 extra, which will, and that 20,000, out of that 20,000, 10,000 was the share of Mr. C, and 10,000 was the amount which Mr. D had to give because he has taken the guarantee. मिस्टर बी ने मिस्टर ए को पूरे 30,000 दे दिए, जबकि उन्होंने गारंटी कितने की ली थी? 10,000 की। 10,000 की गारंटी सी ने ली थी और 10,000 की गारंटी डी ने ली थी। उनका भी शेयर मिस्टर बी ने दे दिया। अब now Mr. B has a right against the co-sureties that they would give him their share. Okay, this is how it is done. Now Mr. B has a right, Mr. B के पास right है कि C और D भी उनको पैसे दे। मैं तो दूंगी 30,000, C और D भी दे। This is how it is done. Okay, this is right to contribution also. Right, all the sureties have a right to contribute if there are many sureties for a transaction, and then give the money to the creditor. First, sureties have to settle the accounts within themselves. If B has paid the share of C and D also, then C and D would pay the money to B, 10,000. Now their account has been settled first. Now it's between me and only Mr. B. Because Mr. B has stepped into the shoes of the creditor because of the right of subrogation which we have studied first, right against the creditor में जो मैंने subrogation बताया. अब बी को सी और डी ने पैसे दे दिए जो उसकी गारंटी उन्होंने ली थी, जो उनका शेयर बी ने ए को दे दिया था, क्रेडिटर को दे दिया था. अब सब क्रेडिटर बी एंड सी एंड डी ऑल आर आउट ऑफ पिक्चर. नाउ इट्स बिटवीन द डेटर दैट इज मी एंड द ओनली श्योरिटी बी हु हैज पेड द शेयर ऑफ द अदर टू श्योरिटीज एंड हैव गॉट द मनी. I will pay him. That's it. These are the main rights and liabilities of a surety. If you have any problem, please get back to me and kindly study the rights and liabilities of the contract from the Contract Act also. It would give you a more clear picture, and go through the notes also once all the examples and illustrations I have explained it there also. So, excuse me, if you find any other difficulty, kindly get back to me. I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you, class.